Oh man, here we go. And we are here. Hey, there's another fortress. Hey everybody, GReimer here, coming at you once again with some more ZAWA for your face and your eyeballs and your brain to absorb and take in. Alright, so thank you all for being here and enjoying the series. I've had some great numbers actually when I'm looking at the analytics for the series. You guys are loving this a lot, and I'm having fun doing this too. So let's get right to it. If you do go on to enjoy this video, please be sure to smash that like button. It helps me out a ton. Alright, moving on. You can see I built my nether portal. You can see that I saw the AFK fish farm. I haven't actually used that since then. And you hear all the behold an iron farm. Alright, so I did manage to get this iron farm working. It was a bit of a pain. For the longest time I wasn't having any golems spawning and I could not figure out why. And then I realized that iron golems are 3 high. Yeah, but I think they need 4 to spawn. So I had to raise the roof up and they just started showing up. Alright, but I do have a bunch of villagers in here. I've got I think like 21, 22 in here. Now these villagers I kidnapped. I mean, these villagers I abducted. I mean, these villagers I transferred from some of the villages in the area over to here. I even bred up a couple of them while they were here too. There's a bunch of doors on the side of this thing. Let me get down here. This is like your bog standard 1.12.2 iron farm. So there's a bunch of those things. I got a bunch of spots kind of exposing the front of the door right here. I don't think these other ones on the sides were really necessary, but I was trying to get the iron farm to work. And yeah, so I did that. Here's my quick escape route. None of this is pretty, okay? You came here to see a cool building series? None of this is good. All of it's bad. But I mean, it's functional and that's all that matters. Got my first wood pick here, of course. We all start somewhere. It's kind of a tradition of mine whenever I do a series. I always keep the wood pick and put that in an item frame somewhere in my base of operations. Got an end chest going. I did go to the nether, like as you saw in the little quick opening thing there. Nether portal is up and running. And I did even collect a wither skeleton skull along the way while I was exploring some of the end fortresses there. Real quick, let me pop into the nether just to show you what I got going on. Oh, hold on, relax. Let's go back here. Hold on one second. If you did notice in here, I've got string for days. Oh yeah, somebody found a spider spawner, baby. Alright, but in the nether here, there is that cool fortress right there that we saw. Gets a little choppy, my frames kind of go right out the window in here, so I'll probably have to lower my render distance or something. I don't know, it's struggling. But all I do is I have this path right here, and it's not even a finished path, but it's just a path carved here that goes all the way down here. And through this portal is a cave spider spawner. Alright, so that's the one I found. So I went back and I re-explored that mine shaft I found in the mesa. And there's big chunks that I missed, actually. I missed a lot of stuff. I got some more cobwebs and everything like that, too. Oh, there's actually some right down there. Look at that. Is there another section I missed? I'm still looking for a backpack back. No, I've been down here. I just didn't bother to grab this because it would cause the sand to collapse. Gotcha. All right, so yeah, right here, though, right on the surface, when I wasn't even really paying attention, there's a cave spider spawner. Just right here at the mouth of an opening, just on the surface. It was awesome. So I turned it into a farm right now, an XP and string and spider eye farm. And I'm getting a whole bunch. I just recently emptied this out, except for the spider eyes. I've got oodles of those things. So that takes care of what I've been doing here. Now they do spawn, I promise. For some reason they're not spawning. Let's take a look at the mini-map though, because it's right down here in the mesa. Now the farm, or not the farm, but the zoo, oh there they are. The zoo is right up here. And then I also went over here and cleared up this huge section of this fir forest, basically, because fir wood looks amazing and I plan on using a lot. Hello, guys. I had to put this fence in the way so they'd stop poisoning me, but this works actually really well. It's your basic spider farm, basically. Nothing really fancy. You just sit here and you just slash away at them, and you get all the XP you want. You can collect the XP from the side as soon as you kill them all, which I'm trying to do, but they keep spawning in. And then you can collect all the string too, which is great. So there you go, get all the XP that you want right here. But they can, of course, poison you too, which is a little unnerving. Anyway, I could stand here all day doing that, but let's get back to base and let's start talking about what we're gonna do in this episode. Okay, back at the base. Now I have been doing some work here, trading with those villagers, and they're going, and one of them has or a couple of them, like the clerics and the librarians, I believe they are, have backpacks for sale. And I think it's one of these guys that has a backpack. Yeah, for 52 emeralds. That's the cheapest one I got. So I'm going to go ahead and actually purchase that just so I can get another backpack. Because I really badly need it. What's your next trade, by the way? Just redstone and stuff? Not anything useful? Got it. So yeah, I've been desperately looking for another backpack. And I guess I could make one. I didn't even think about that. I do have some sheep also I found. They're down in my strip mine right now, just like where they were in the previous season. In a grassed up pen down there. Been breeding them up, getting a lot, oh my gosh, chickens everywhere. Getting a lot, I'm gonna have to, don't look, turn your eyes away. Those chickens just magically disappeared. Yeah, I've been breeding up the sheep down there so I can get more wool, because I have a feeling that's gonna come in handy for various things. Now, I have actually looked into, like, how to get stuff, how to play this game. Turns out kibble I'm gonna need a lot of. Now, all this stuff is no problem except for apples. Okay, apples could be a problem, because getting apples isn't exactly easy. So I went ahead and made, make sure there's no creepers, no nothing, no terrible. I went ahead and made, let's go ahead and look at that dynamic trees thing here. I went ahead and made these apple pips, and they're basically an apple seed for an apple tree, which I planted 4 of them, and lo and behold, wouldn't you know it, none of them sprouted apples. This is one right here, there's one right there, there's one right there, and there's one right there. No apples on these things. So I don't know if these are supposed to grow apples, if I'm doing something wrong, if I'm supposed to do something with it. Please, comment section, let me know these things, because I need to get apples, and I thought that was how you do it, but that didn't work. But all right, and you can see I'm growing a buttload of sugarcane because I was selling the paper, trying to get enough for that backpack, which we now have, thankfully. So that's great. Now I can actually put some storage supplies. Now, what are we going to do in this episode? Why are you here? Why are you watching? We're going to get to work on building, okay? Now, I'm not going to be doing the first exhibit in this episode because I don't even have, like, the area of the zoo finished being marked out as to where that exhibit would even go. So that will be our first step. Taking this new backpack, we're going to actually name this one, and we're going to name it, Building Blocks. All right? Bam. I got to remember to sleep with this one and not that, otherwise it's going to rename itself. But, all right, so awesome. We got one for building blocks. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to yeet this thing back in there. Let's get the emeralds out of here also. I also went ahead and made the eye chisel. That might come in handy for making special blocks. Let's go ahead and take a whole bunch of this stuff. We're going to take a whole bunch of this stuff, too. Organization. It's a fun thing. Let's grab all of this, too. Let's put that all up in there, and then, let's get right there. And then, all that fir wood that I talked about, how I cut down most of that forest up there, yeah, I'm going to need a lot of that. So we're going to just go ahead and load up on this. I love the way this stuff looks, by the way. All right, let's do a side-by-side comparison. I usually use, like, oak whenever I want to make something look a little or oak and birch whenever I want to make something look sun-faded. That's oak. This is fir wood. All right, I love it. Let's go ahead and get the axe. I'm going to need it here, but I love that. Look at that. That looks way more faded, as if it's like been sitting in the sun for too long. And the planks are just like that, you know? So I'm loving that a lot. I'm going to be using that a lot. Now, let's, should I grab some more? Shane? Yeah, let's go grab a little bit more because I don't want to run out and have to run all the way back here. Let's just grab a couple more stacks there. All right. Let's get to work. Now, here, I'm going to put over the screen here is an overlay of the rough idea of what I'm planning on building overall. Now, if you watched last season, I had a rough idea of what I wanted to build. It turned out kind of like it. I mean, honestly, it was just a guideline. It's not like it's the law. Like I have to follow this template. Like if you look on it, actually, like the bathrooms aren't going to take up that much space. But that's just kind of the location where they are. And I'm leaving a lot of spots open because I'm planning on doing a lot of different exhibits along the way too that I don't have marked on there because I don't even know what animals I'm going to end up catching. All right, but what we're doing right now, if you look at the mini map on the top right, is we're heading to where the entrance was of that. There's a moose. Oh yeah, I forgot. I've seen that guy before. We're heading to where the entrance was on that map because I want to go scope this out. I just basically took a screenshot of the journey map of this thing right here, and then brought it into Photoshop and just drew on it. So, but the entranceway should be right about here, right? I think that's where it is. All right, yeah, I can work with this. I can work with this good. All right, so first things first. Okay, so it's the entrance. I'm trying to visualize this in my head. The entranceway has got to go from these hills across here and to that water right here. I think this little low dip right here in between these two hills is kind of where that's going to probably end up happening. I am going to probably have to carve back a little bit of the landscape. It's going to take some work. If you guys did watch last season, you know what's about to happen. Here comes some forest and grubbing and a little bit of landscaping and getting this place into something that I can actually use. All right. Hey, there's a rattlesnake back here. Just scared the bejesus out of me. Hey, there's a kangaroo. All right, so this is what we got. And I think I can work with this, actually. Now, I did actually select a name for the zoo, and it was the one I was thinking about, and I mentioned last season, or not last season. Yeah, it's Wildwood. Welcome back, Wildwood 2.0. No, it's a name that I was thinking of because about a year ago or so, I found a channel where a guy bought an abandoned ghost town, or I guess all ghost towns are abandoned, aren't they? He bought an abandoned mining colony, actually, and it was a ghost town about 3 hours out from Los Angeles, actually. And it's a fascinating channel. The channel is called Ghost Town Living, and I'm not actually like connected to this person at all. It's just something I found on YouTube, and I thought it was rather interesting. Now, his whole town is dedicated to an old abandoned mining colony, which is kind of what the zoo is going to be based off of. So the town's name is Sarasota, and I thought that it would be awesome to call this place Sarasota Mine, or Sarasota Zoo. How cool would that be? All right, so there's actually a nifty little backstory behind it. Now, your guys' suggestions were fantastic, and I probably will end up using them in a later zoo, but I'm thinking Sarasota Zoo would be amazing. All right, so now I have to design a entranceway for this place. This is kind of how it starts, because right here, if you look at the map, this is where it's going to start, and then everything in this valley is where the zoo is going to be. All right, including this little area over here where it had marked on the kind of the layout for the zoo. This is where the aquarium will be. So this is a whole lot of stuff I got to build in here. Lots of room to do it, and it should be a lot of fun. Plus, it's nestled right in the mountains there. It should look really cool. So, all right. So Sarasota Zoo. I got to come up with an entranceway, and I did a little brainstorming in a creative world, just trying to come up with something, and I kind of have an idea. That's why I grabbed all these blocks. Let's go ahead and store that, and let's. Oh man, hold on. I gotta organize some inventory here because my inventory is a mess. All right, inventory mess handled. Let's go ahead and grab a bunch of this fir wood because I'm going to need it here. Maybe actually, you know what? I'll grab a bunch of everything because I'm going to have to do I'm going to put down a base layer of everything, and then I'm going to go through and I'm going to pretty it up a little bit. But I think grabbing these blocks right here, and I don't need the cobble quite yet, will do. Now, entranceway. I'm guessing I'm going to start on this side. My plan is to have it say Sarasota or Gordo on one side and then the other, and then zoo in the middle. I think would look really cool. I'm going to build it out of stone rather than do banners like I did last season. So let's get to building here. Let me get to building. All right, I got the basic basic part of the word Gordo done. And this is the view from up here. This is pretty nice, isn't it? Now, I don't actually have a way to get back up here, and I also don't have a way to get down. Now, it's pretty high. It's pretty high. Now, I do have Feather Falling 4, but, you know, I'd rather not die. I could jump over there. There's a snake over there by those zebras, too. I could jump that way to try to get down, or I could just do this. Play it safe and do that. I think that might be the better option. All right, so I got to get down, and let's take a look and see what this looks like. Oh, yeah. There we go. Yep, Gordo, right there. All right, nice. Okay, so that means that the entranceway is right here. You're going to have Zoo right in the middle of it and Sero right down the other side of it. And then as far as the walls and the basic kind of walls I'm going to probably be using a lot in the zoo, I think a lot of the exhibits I'm going to recess into the ground primarily. But similar to what I was doing last season, except for I'll be using more stone-based things. But what I got to do is I got to put another layer of this fir wood right here all the way around it as well. So it's going to come down to right here. And then I gotta start working on the sign going across that says zoo. I'm gonna have to probably work backwards. Now I started doing this backwards because of this hill right here. I wanted to try to fit it in right here for the entranceway. So if I started working this way and it was too far to the left, it would look weird. You know, I had to make it fit with this. So I gotta do this whole thing backwards. But like I said, a sign going across with like wood and maybe some of this fir wood planks backing on it actually. Going over here to where it says Sero also. So yeah, let me get to work on building this thing here, and let's see what we get. All right, after a lot of building, building it backwards, like I said, was kind of tricky, but this is what I got. Now, this is not done by any means, actually. This looks pretty good, but I don't like the solid stone background, actually. I think that looks kind of crappy. I like having a little bit of block diversity in almost everything that I build, so I'm going to probably do that there, too. Ooh, let's get away from the rattlesnake. Almost everything that I do there, too. I should relocate that rattlesnake, just get him out here. I actually did capture one of those things while I was out and about recently, in between episodes, so I do have a rattlesnake now. But, so there it is, Sarah Gordo Zoo, right there, bam. What do you guys think? Yay, nay? Comment section, let me know. Now, I do have to build a little bit more onto this, like, I don't want to just be this, I want to get, like, a wall going from the side of this over to this river, and then also, like, a little miniature wall. There's totally a light glitch going on right here. Also, a little miniature wall kind of going into that hillside right there. It doesn't have to be very tall. We're talking like the palisade wall from last season is what I'm going to do. But this time I'm going to be building it primarily out of stone. And it's going to be kind of like a palisade wall. Kind of. It's going to be more like a rocky outcropping is what I'm going to try to do. More so than anything to kind of create a edge. Because this whole biome that I'm in, this woodland biome, it needs an overhaul. Unlike last season. Last season, I basically kept the entire biome exactly the way it was. I just kind of added the exhibits, and it was really nice and pretty. This time around, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing a biome overhaul on this thing. So a lot of the biome is going to be changing. It's going to take a lot of work, but I think to make it look like kind of like a rocky mining colony, that's kind of necessary, because this looks like a woodland. This looks perfect. So Biomes Aplenty developers, you guys did great. I need to change it though, because I don't need it that way. But I do need to get to work on putting down a lot of stone. Basically, I'm doing the base layer of stuff right here, and then in between episodes, I'll go through and detail it up, putting in like I'm going to change this background here to have probably cobblestone mixed in with it, not andesite because I already have that for the lettering, but polished andesite's a possibility. Gravel for sure, kind of make it look a little bit broken up, a little bit more worn and faded in. And then like with this fir wood, it makes it look like it's faded wood, like it's been here for a while. And then I even went ahead and doodadded up that sign a little bit to have a little bit of fir wood mixed in with the oak wood up there to make it kind of look sun faded as well. So this whole thing is supposed to look kind of weathered and worn a little bit, and that's the idea. So for right here though, I'm gonna have to, like I said, try to create kind of like a palisade wall-esque start to this, and then I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna detail it up to look a whole lot more like a rocky outcropping kind of thing. Now, I don't want to copy the exact same palisade wall design I did from last season, so I do want to jazz this up a little bit. Let's get to placing some blocks, and while I'm working on this, let me give a big shout out. Here, I'm gonna look at you guys. Let me give a big shout out to everybody who actually offered up name suggestions for the zoo. We're gonna actually give you guys a little props right here. So let's start with Senko Kitsune. Thank you so much. You suggested the name Snowdrop Valley, which actually sounds very pleasant. SpaghettiOs offered up a couple of name suggestions: Mountain Bed Zoo and Mountain Valley Zoo. Very on point with that last one there. I like it a lot. Ellen Schultz, Roverwood Safari Park. That's interesting. It doesn't even have the word zoo in it, but it is. I mean, it's a safari park, so yeah, I guess that makes sense. Maybe I should allow you to drive vehicles through it. Bam! How about that? Just leave the exhibits open. Enter at your own risk. Logan Osman suggested Valley View Zoo, which is a very pleasant name also. I really like that one, actually. Thank you so much for suggesting that one. And then Royale Crafting suggested Snow Peak Zoo. So all great names. Thank you so much for suggesting them. I really appreciate it. It actually, I thought of the Cerro Gordo Zoo name, and I was like, I'm not sure if it's better than any of your guys' suggestions. Truth be told, I actually don't think it is. I think your guys' were better. It's just that it looks so cool, and it has like a cool backstory, is why I ended up settling on it. So hopefully you guys understand, and I'm going to definitely need names in the future for animals, because I can't think of those things. Remember, our rattlesnake last season was named Vander Torvaldsen, because I couldn't think of a good name for it. So, all right, let's get to building here. Okay, got the walls put up, actually. I kind of like the basic shape of what they are right now. They do need a lot of work still. Okay, so they're not done, but they do basically serve the purpose of what I want to do here. Now this, I think, looks like a pretty good entranceway. I want to do a little bit of detailing here before I wrap up the episode. I'm going to start on this little bit right here, and then I'll do that other larger part off camera in between episodes. Like I said, I also need to do that up and then detail the background wall of this. I'm going to have to get a lot of dirt blocks, which I have plenty of, I believe, to pillar up there now. Yeah, I got a bunch right here that I can use. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to pillar up there and just change out some of these blocks. Now I did notice, because I had to run back and grab some gravel, that the backside of this looks really ugly. Okay, so I'll try to pretty this up too, so that while you're in the park you don't look back and go ooh, like, because it just looks nasty, you know. I'll probably put like a, well, I mean, I could actually continue this border around. It probably will look pretty good. Maybe put thank you or something like that for thanks for stopping. I don't know. I'll try to figure out something that I can squeeze in there, or I'll just kind of leave the pattern in as it is. Let's fix this light glitch right here so no creepers spawn in and just blow me up while I'm working. All right, so let's go over here and detail up this little bit right here, and then, like I said, I'm going to continue this design over onto the other side. Let's first fix that, because that's going to bug me. So it looks like it's actually built into the wall. And then I'll continue this pattern onto that other part of the wall too, in between episodes. It'll give me something to work on. I try to do some of this grindy stuff off camera. But for right here, this building part right here, I'm going to actually do this part on camera. And I'm going to leave out any of the polished andesite from this part. I'll put that in this part here periodically. But for this wall right here, I want this to be basically rock and stone and whatnot. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove some of this stuff. We're going to squeeze in a little bit of cobblestone here or there. Something like so. And we can actually use andesite in this part as well, because I'm not going to use it there because it's kind of like what the sign is, you know. But in this part, it's part of the wall, so I can go ahead and freely use this. Now this is just good old block diversity at its finest. You just mix these things in here, and it ends up making it look really cool. So let's go ahead and throw a bit of gravel right there, in right here. Now the gray palette scale on Minecraft is pretty diverse with color options. So you can, oh, I just fell off the back. You can really go nuts with this thing because we got a bunch of different options, and I'm not even using all of them. I mean, we can also use like gray concrete too if you want to mix some of that in there, or gray concrete powder even. So there's a bunch of them. Heck, you can even do wool if you really wanted to, if you felt so inclined. But yeah, let's just go ahead and add in a couple of little diverse types of blocks in here, and let's take a step back and see what I've done already and see what that does. All right, yeah, you see how that's looking way more custom and not just like a chunk of stone that's just like somebody, like I picked one block and that was it. It looks really boring when you pick one block. I always try to mix in as many blocks as possible. Like you can even imagine that sign right there. That might actually look pretty good with a solid oak background. But because it's supposed to be sun faded, I'm trying to make it look that way. This is supposed to look like it's kind of weathered and worn as well. And so I kind of want to make it look that way if I can. So it's going to take a little bit of work, but I'm pretty sure I can get this thing to pop. Yeah, like that. And then let's do that. All right, so let's take a step back again, take a peek. Yeah, all right, so that's looking a lot better. Now, I do want to make it look like it's kind of crumbling forward, so I'm probably going to have to come back through with like slabs and stair blocks maybe, and actually make that work. But that is probably for an in-between episode kind of thing. So let's go ahead and just do this, and then maybe replace this right up here with a good old piece of gravel. How's that look? Oh yeah, that looks pretty good. All right, and then imagine there's also gonna be some custom detailing behind this, and that should be it right there. That'd be the main entranceway for the zoo. And then if you look on the map right here, this is what we got right now. That looks pretty cool, okay? That looks pretty cool. That's like, this is the wall. Anything to the right here is where the zoo is. Anything to the left is the wilderness still. All right, I'm liking that a lot. I'm just kind of visualizing in my head how this is gonna turn out. Yeah, all right, this will work. So this is gonna be our zoo for this season. All right, I think, like I said, I do got to do some detailing on this more still. I'll probably add maybe some fence posts into it as well, maybe. Like, looking like it's holding it up from the front, maybe. I don't know. I'll brainstorm with it, because this was just kind of on the fly. I only created this archway in the creative mode when on a separate world, you know, to kind of brainstorm an idea. I didn't really get too much into these walls. This is me just winging it on the fly. Ah, rattlesnake. But I think I'm going to wrap this episode up here, so if you did enjoy it, please smash that like button. It would really help me out a lot. And thank you guys so much for donating your eyeballs and ear holes to this episode. If you are enjoying it, let me know in the comments section who's excited for the zoo. I'm still trying to decide what's the first animal that's going to go in. It'll probably be next episode, I'm thinking. Probably be next episode we'll actually get an exhibit in here. So it's either that or we'll work on the Welcome Center. I'm not sure. We'll figure it out. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.